Hello team. What I want to talk about today is how to become a top performer in this sales industry. Okay. The first thing that you need to know is you need to really want it. If you want something bad enough, you're going to find a way to reach that. Okay. Now, when I first entered into the industry, when I decided that this is what I wanted to do for a living for the rest of my life, I was with a very good company that before they allow you to talk to a client, they put you to a month and a half of training, so you know all of the product knowledge and you know how to deliver stuff. Now, you will think that's a great thing. However, at the beginning, when I first go out and start talking to actual clients, I was not getting the results that I wanted. And I was wondering myself, why? Why is this not happening? I know all of the information, I know all I have to say, I know when to say the stuff, so why I'm not getting the results that I want? So one of the first things that I did is I noticed with all of my coworkers, I went to see who was at the top. And this name that was always at the top month after month after month, what I was thinking, okay, we are all human beings and this is not rocket science. So if he can do it, I can do it. Now, what I went to do is I was asking the number one writer, is like, hey, Alex, can you help me? And Alex obviously was like, yeah, go away, kid. No? And then the next day I was like, Alex, please, can you help me? He was like, yeah, later. Alex, please, can you help me? And he was just sending me away, time after time after time, until it came a time that I guess my persistence overcome his resistance, and I guess he figured out that I was really wanting to learn from him, and then he decided to actually talk to me. And when I talked to him, I was really paying attention to everything that he was telling me. And then suddenly a change happened. The first thing that he told me is, stop being a robot delivering the information that we have and start being yourself. It's obviously the nice thing is that you have all of your information, but put that information attached with your personality, and then you will create a magic powerful bomb that will turn into the results that you want. And it started happening. As soon as I stopped worrying about saying everything that I have to say from A to Z, and I start listening into the people and then doing my presentation, but not really skipping steps, but focusing on what the clients want and just talking about things that were really important for them. Then everything started changing for me because I was giving the client what they want. I already have all of the information, but I learned that you don't have to tell your clients everything that you know. You need to know everything, yes, that is a fact, but you don't have to deliver all of the information to every single client. Otherwise, you're gonna just overload them with information. I'm pretty sure it has happened to all of us. I remember once many years ago when these flat screen TVs came into the market. No, I was into this store and I saw one, and then I said like, hey, that's the one that I want. So on the weekend I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna buy that one. I arrived that day and I told to the sales guy in that department, he's like, hey, can you please give me that TV? And he was like, oh, well, don't you want the one that is next to it? Because it's an HADME and it has this megahertz and kilohertz. And they start to talk to me in all of that really strange language that I didn't understand. And obviously I didn't want to make a fool of myself telling this guy that I didn't know what he was talking about. So after hearing his huge information about why this TV was better than that TV, or better that TV that is way better than this TV, I decided not to do anything because they give me too much information. So when you give a client too much information, they just froze. So we need to learn to have all of the information, but just deliver the right information to the client that we have in front of us. That's one. The second thing, or another thing that you need to do to become a top performer is, again, you need to decide that you want to be one, because it takes a lot of discipline and a lot of energy to become a top producer on the sales industry. I mean, the reality is, guys, I've been doing this for almost 15 years, and I have seen many salespeople come and go. No? There's sometimes that on the morning meetings you see 20 faces, and then in the next morning meeting you see another 20 different faces, and you didn't see the ones from before. So there's a lot of rotation. So you need to have the discipline to know that you are going to be giving all of your energy and all of your power and all of your focus into what is your goal, which is to be the top. You know? So again, with discipline, it comes to always be learning. It doesn't matter how long I have been in the industry, I never stop learning. I'm always reading books, I'm always listening to videos, I'm always listening to my peers, I'm always listening to other managers to see what they have to say, I'm always listening to the director, and the reality is we can learn from everybody. If we stop learning, we stop growing. And if we stop growing, then we start dying. So that's what we need to do. If we want to be a top performer, always be learning. Okay? Because the more we learn, the more skills we can put into our box set. So the more tools that we have, it's easier to come with different scenarios, because you are going to know exactly which tool you need to do to get this deal or get that other deal. Is the same tool going to work for the same client? Absolutely not. So that's why you always have to continue learning day after day after day. It's, again, it takes discipline. It takes hard work. I know that there's a misconception in sales that is, oh no, everybody can be a salesman. And yeah, in a way it's true. Everybody can become a salesman. Now, to become an excellent salesman or a top producer, not everybody can do it. And it's not because they can't do it, but it's because they are not willing to pay the price. To be in the top, it takes commitment. It takes discipline. It takes a lot of challenge and a lot of learning. It takes to look the client that we have in front of us with a different eyes. No? One common thing that we do is we prejudge people. It's very, very easy to prejudge people and to blame it on that people that why they didn't buy. That's a very, very common mistake. No? So as a top producer, one of the things that you do is that you see every single client as an opportunity. So doesn't matter what the experience, the previous experience of the client has been, they haven't met you. And don't measure yourself of how the previous sales rep did their job. Because if you are disciplined enough and you pay attention enough, you will be able to get a deal. Every single client is sellable. You just have to decide if you're going to be putting 100% of your effort to get a sale, or if you are going to just let yourself go with prejudging. It's very easy, and it's human nature to do it, but do your job. Do your job regardless of whatever the scenario that you have in front of you. If you do your job, I guarantee that you will be closer and closer to get the result that you want. I can promise you one thing. If you don't give 100% every single day, I can guarantee you will not be a top producer. On the other hand, I can guarantee that if you give 100% every day, you will get there. By giving 100% every single day, it doesn't mean that you will sell every day, but it means that you will be closer and closer and closer to get deals every day. And that's what you want, because the closer and closer you get, suddenly, boom, the deals start happening. And once that you have one deal and another deal and another deal, then your confidence and your level of energy becomes way higher. So it takes a lot of commitment and a lot of strength, and controlling your mind. That's a key. The only thing that we can control is our mind. We cannot control how much money the clients have. We cannot control what has been their experience in the past. We cannot control how they were invited to the presentation. But what we can control is our mind. And if we can control our mind and be ready to do a top performer every single day, that's going to get us closer and closer and closer. We can also control the way that we're going to react to the scenario that we have in front of us. So the more discipline that we have, the more control that we have of our mind, and the more we're willing to learn and do everything day after day after day, no? The closer that we're going to become to be a top producer. And like I say, guys, to be a top producer is a choice, because I cannot do it for you. I can just tell you what to do, but if you decide to apply this or not apply this, or if you decide to learn from another person, that's fine. You can decide to learn from everybody, but it's up to you if you're going to apply that knowledge, how you're going to apply it, if you're going to be ready every single day to perform at a peak level or not. It's up to you if you decide to come to work not having sleep. It's up to you if you come hangover or whatever the case may be. So it takes discipline. It takes a lot of, how can I put it? It takes a lot of, yeah, that's it. It takes a lot of discipline, and it takes knowing exactly what you want and knowing that you want to be on the top of the pack, no? And it takes a lot of work. So if you're willing to do the work and have the discipline, the results will come. Will it come immediately? Well, it may show, no? But it takes time to get there. It takes experience. So guys, thank you very much for listening. I know we all can do this. It just, you need to decide, where do you want to be? Do you want to be a top producer, or do you want just to be an average salesperson? Thank you very much for listening.